Okay, so essentially I've been tagged, and the tag that I've been given is show your two favourite knives. And any excuse that I get to talk about knives I usually take up on the opportunity. So let's have a look at what I mainly use when I'm out in the field. Okay, so let's start with my pucko. This is a knife that I made myself a few months ago. It's basically a finished pucko, or my take on the finished pucko design. It mounts a Lowry PT blade. The handle is curly birch. It's got a nice big ferrule for strength and an end cap. The tang comes all the way through the handle and is secured, pinned over just underneath the end cap, so it's extra strong. The thing I like about this knife is the steel is absolutely exceptional for holding an edge. The blade is very thin, which means that the point of manipulation when you're carving is much closer, so you get a lot more control out of a big wide bladed knife, which can sometimes feel a bit more clunky. The grinds are nice and high as well, which is always good, because it means it's going to cut and slice a lot better through wood and meat and other things that you're trying to cut. Okay, now on to another knife that I use quite a bit. This is an Enzo Trapper that I handled myself using a kit. The knife is in D2 steel, which I find quite a good steel for edge holding. I haven't had any problems of chipping or rust at all yet. Compared to 01, it's a lot harder to sharpen, but the edge does take a lot longer to disappear. It holds an edge for a very, very long time and can be brought back easily by stropping. The handle on this knife is fairly comfortable. It's not the most comfortable, it's not the least comfortable, but it does pretty well. I would say it could be improved slightly by giving it a bit of a thicker handle, which is what I tried to do by bulking it out of these liners, and it's a lot more comfortable now than a lot of the shop-bought Enzo Trappers. Another knife is this. This is my Bernie Garland Bird and Trout, and it's quite an old knife. I've had this for quite a while now, probably, it's 2011 now, so since 2009, November 2009 I've had this knife. It's got a 3mm blade, 01 tool steel, Scandinavian grinds and box elder burl scales, and it's an absolutely excellent knife, especially for carving. Because of the fine point you can get really close up in there and get a lot of detail done. Now for heavier work, normally instead of a knife I would use one of these. This is a Gransfors Brux wildlife hatchet, and for chopping down poles, splitting wood, doing rough carving, this is an absolutely excellent tool for those sort of jobs. I really am a fan of this axe. It usually goes with me when I go out. Either this or the small forest axe will usually come with me. It seems that we are talking knives. For chopping, this is definitely my favourite. This is a Leku made by myself. This is the Deerstalker's Leku actually, and it's got an 8-inch carbon steel blade, Scandinavian grinds. The handle is heat treated birch, and it's got a little bit of a red deer stag pommel. The way that you hold the Leku is with three fingers at the back, hold it right far back and just use a flicking action. So I suppose this video is really about favourite knives though. So what is favourite? A lot of people, including myself, will fluctuate between their favourite knife. Say 1 month you'll be using one knife, another month you'll be using another. You'll get a new knife, that'll be your favourite for a bit, you might go back to another knife. At the moment my favourite knife would have to be this. This knife started out its life as a bushcraft Northwest knife. However, it's been to quite a few different makers. For example, Fidget from Dorset Woodland Blades redid the grinds. He took them up quite high to 22 degrees. Bernie Garland changed the scales over from the previous bamboo scales to stabilised box elder burl, which is an absolutely beautiful material, and it doesn't let in any moisture, so it stays the same. There's no rough patches or parts where the tang is digging out and exposed onto the handle at all. Really smooth, comfortable handle. The thing I like mainly about this knife is it's very easy to control in use. The handle is very well shaped. You can hold it comfortably in any grip, and it doesn't cause any blisters or anything at all. It's a nice solid handle that really fills your hand and really feels comfortable in use. The blade, like I said before on the pucko, it's quite a narrow blade, which means that the point of manipulation, your thumbs, are a lot closer to the edge, which means that the control that you get over a knife like this is a lot better than something with a big thick blade. It's a lot more unwieldy when you have a thick blade, and a nice thin blade is much more suited to bushcraft tasks in my opinion. The high grinds obviously make it an excellent cutter. It really does glide through wood like you wouldn't believe. It's 01 tool steel, hardened to Rockwell 59, and it really does take quite a good edge. It holds an edge for a very nice amount of time, and it's very easy to bring back. So in my opinion, for me, this is the ideal knife, at least for the moment anyway. I'm sure some kind of wonder knife will come along and knock this out of its place for a few weeks or whatever, but for the moment this is my favourite. I made myself a dangler style sheath for it. You can see it just sits in there like that. Has a dangler, I just stick it in my pocket, and that way it's a much less obvious way of carrying a knife. Also, friction fitted, doesn't fall out so easily. Excellent bit of kit. So as for my favourite knife, well, at the moment this is definitely my #1 choice for bushcraft as a main fixed blade knife. If I was going to have a second favourite, I'd probably pick the Pucko, just because it's very easy to control, very comfortable to use, and it holds an edge for a very nice amount of time. But if I can slightly sway off the whole two favourite knives thing, I would definitely say that my second favourite tool is the Gransfors Brooks Wildlife Hatchet. It's a very, very versatile bit of kit. You can do all sorts of things. You can do pretty much any job with this that you could do with a knife, and a hell of a lot more. It's a very, very, very useful thing to have in your pack when you're out in the woods. The YouTube user that I'm going to tag in this video, first one's going to be Ghostmaker. I know that you mainly specialise in air rifle videos, but I'd really like to see what sort of knives you're using. Really like to see what you use for paunching rabbits and other tasks like making hides and whittling sticks, you know, all those sort of things. Also Skogniv, you have quite a lot of nice woodlaw style knives made by Adventure Sworn and Bernie Garland. I'd really like to see which one of those you prefer and what you take out into the woods with you at the moment. Another one I want to tag is Rob with a B. I really enjoy your videos. I'm not sure if you're subscribed to me, but if you see this, I'd really like to see what you use when you're out in the woods. What sort of knives do you carry? I know you quite like the Opinels, but I was wondering if there's anything else. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Cheers.